Welcome to NFL World, where the NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob, and welcome to the NFL Dream. We're going to continue in the NFC East with the Washington Commanders, who this free agency under year 2 of Dan Quinn, I thought was extremely impactful because they did lose some people. Like, we'll get into it more or less in the free agents, who they lost in free agency part of it. But they re-signed Jeremy McNichols. Will Harris came over from the Saints. He's going to take over for Jeremy Chin, who left. We'll get into that later. Javon Kinlaw, who takes over for Jonathan Allen, who left. We'll get into that one later too. Kinlaw, I didn't think was going to make that much money. I thought 1 year, maybe 1 year, $8 million. He made a 3-year, $45 million, $30 million guaranteed. I didn't think it was going that much because he was good with the Jets, not so good in San Francisco. I wouldn't call him a bust, but he just wasn't very good. But he goes to the Jets, did a very good with the Jets, so it worked out. They re-signed Bobby Wagner. They re-signed Zach Ertz. They re-signed John Bates, the backup tight end. Tress Way, who's been there forever. It feels like Tress Way has been there for like 9. It feels like Tress Way's been there for like 90 years. It's insane. He's been there forever. Marcus Mariota resigns. Eddie Goldman came over from the Falcons. A quick story about Eddie Goldman. He actually retired, came back to football a couple years ago after being out of the sport for a year and a half. Comes back, played decently well with Atlanta. Now headed to Washington, or has been in Washington, I should say. Jonathan Jones, 1 year deal. He's getting paired with Lattimore and Sanders still. Dietrich Wise coming over from the Patriots as well on a $5 million deal. On a 1 year deal, $5 million. KJ Osborne returns to this team on a 1 year deal. Okay, another quick story on him. Lucas, who is a Patriots fan, when they signed KJ Osborne, I texted Lucas. I said, "You're gonna love KJ Osborne. He's a slot demon, basically, but he can do some outside stuff." And he just never found his way onto the football field. It was just opening door of wide receivers, and it just didn't click. And he ended up getting released, gets picked up by Washington, gets put on the practice squad. Now he comes back. So there you go. That's my Osborne, KJ Osborne little story there. Michael Dieter, the center, he returns to the team. Noah Brown returns to the team. He did get injured. It's not considered serious, but he will miss the start of the season. So keep that in mind. Sheldon Day, the defensive tackle, returns to the team. Trent Scott on a 1 year deal as he returns to the team. Noah Igbenogany returns to the team on a 1 year deal. Not a start, in my opinion. He has that start experience, so if you're in a bind, you can put him out there, but I would not have him as a starter, in my opinion. Nick Bellor, I believe is how it's pronounced, 2 year deal, excuse me. He's a special teams guy. Let him do his thing. He's on special teams, let him do his thing. Jacob Martin comes over from Chicago on a 1 year deal. Nate Herbig comes over from the Steelers on a 1 year deal. Cleveland Farrell comes over, or stays with the team on a 1 year deal. Jalen Holmes returns to the team on a 1 year deal. Foster Sarell comes over from Chicago on a 1 year deal. He's an offensive tackle. Michael Gallup unretires, joins the Commanders, did not make the team. He was released later on, but it was a good story. And the draft picks, we're going to get into it more or less. They ended up going offensive tackle first with Josh Connolly at pick 29 from Oregon, the offensive tackle from Oregon. Round 2, Trey Amos, or Amos, depending on how you say it. The cornerback from Ole Miss. He's a good football player. He went to Ole Miss, found his way into the second round. It was a good move. Jalen Lane, a wide receiver from Virginia Tech. Fast. That's the best way I can describe it. He's fast. Let him run. He's long, he's lanky, and he's pretty fast. Let him go. When we talk about straight line speed, that's Jalen Lane. A perfect way to describe him is that. Kane, I believe it's pronounced Modrego, the linebacker from UCLA, was picked in the 6th round because they did not have a 3rd. They did not have a 5th. In the 6th round, they selected him. And in the 7th round, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, the running back from Arizona, who lit it up in the preseason to the point that they felt comfortable enough, the Commanders did, to trade Brian Robinson away, which was one of the biggest moves they made. Now, let's explain what happened. Michael, I believe it's pronounced Michael, but we're going to say Michael for now, went to the Cardinals. Brian Robinson was traded to the 49ers because they are running out of running backs. They just traded him over there. Like I said, they released Michael Gallup, also released Ising Bassey, or Bassey, depending on how you say it, and Senator Nick Harris at final roster cuts, if I can talk. But what I noticed, they didn't label it here. There's 2 big free agents, or 2 guys they lost that were beneficial to this team. Dante Fowler joins the rival Cowboys after he got into the free agent market. No one signed him, and he said on Twitter, I at one point I was in top 5 in sacks, and I didn't even get a call yet. And then he gets picked up by the Cowboys. Then you have the Jonathan Allen situation, which you released him, and he found his way to Minnesota. Jeremy Chin also left in free agency, so that's why you had to go get another safety in Will Harris. Now, looking at the standings, this was a team that performed unbelievably. They had a great attitude, which is what Dan Quinn brings. Every place he goes, he has a great attitude. When he was the head coach in Atlanta, he was the defensive coordinator in Dallas. He was now the head coach of the Commanders. Even before, when he was in Seattle, he always brought a great attitude. And great attitudes help things out, help the teams out. This team won 70.6% of their games last year. They were 7-2 at home. They were rocking at home. They were just destroying people. They were 5-3 on the road. They won the last 5 games. They were good, really good, and excellent. They were just performing well. Their electrifying young quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Their run game with Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson. They had a good passing game. Their defense was solid. Again, struggling to stop the run is not Dan Quinn's forte. He can't stop the run, really. Pass rush, yes. Interceptions, yes. Turnovers, yes. Stopping the run, no. Not possible. And they got destroyed because of it. But they did beat some good teams, too. This was a team hasn't won a playoff game. Hadn't made an NFC championship game since 1991. They found a way to win a playoff game. Didn't matter because of it was a doink. Didn't matter if they had to play a complete race with the Detroit Lions. They won those games. They made an NFC championship game. They were good. They got to figure out how to stop the run, though. But they played and they accomplished every expectation they had. They were awesome at home. They were awesome on the road. They played really well. They were battling the Eagles tooth and nail all year. They played really good football. Looking at their schedule, they will have another great year if they don't have some bad injuries. Knock on wood that no one has injuries this year, but we all know that's completely impossible. But again, knock on wood that none of those injuries are serious. You first start off week 1 with the New York Giants, home for the Giants at Green Bay on a Thursday nighter to start the year, September 11th. excuse me, home for the Raiders, at the Falcons, at the Chargers, home for the Bears, at Dallas. The Bears game is a Monday night. Is a Monday nighter, by the way, on ABC. At Dallas. 6 days later, another Monday nighter at Kansas City. That's a Monday night on ABC and ESPN. Home for Seattle. Home for Detroit. They play the Miami Dolphins in an international game. So who knows how good Miami will be at that point in mid-November. Bye week 12. It's a little late, but it's better to be a little late than very early. Next up, coming off the bye week, a Sunday nighter against the Denver Broncos. They're at home for that. At Minnesota, at the Giants, home for the Eagles on December 20th, play the Cowboys at home on Christmas Day, and then round out the year at Philadelphia. So 4 games, the 4 last games they play are rival games. It's not easy. I think that's where there could be a trip up somewhere, because that's really hard to do. To play Philadelphia 2 of the last 3 games and not separate it at all, and then play Dallas, who you play good when you play Dallas, you do, on offense. But they always went back and forth. They always go back and forth. So with this schedule, what this schedule tells me is this is a team that can win 10 plus games this year. Will they win 12 games? I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because I think everyone in this division will be really good and better than anyone expects. The reason I believe that, and I say this, I said same thing with the Giants, which we'll get that video out for you. We're going to do the Eagles video, and I'm going to say the same thing with the Cowboys video, in the Cowboys video. I think every team is going to be better than anyone expects. We just did the video when the Cowboys traded Michael Parsons, and I still believe that the Cowboys, maybe it's blind optimism, maybe it's blind hope, maybe it's a glimmer of light, something. I still think what they have and what they got in the trade of Michael Parsons will benefit them down the road, especially in December. And what Philadelphia has, what the Giants are starting to do, I think there's a lot of positives. And I think this division will be really fun to watch. I think this will be very exciting this year. So my record for the Commanders, I do think they lose an extra game. I have them going 11-6. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'll say this in every video that I do for the rest of this division, wouldn't be surprised if there's a 3-way tie at some point in this. And we might even finish the regular season, with a tie, and we're hoping for tiebreakers. Because I think this division will be very good. I got them going 11-6. And I don't think the division will be locked up until the last game of the season. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Washington Commanders can go and win 12 games again in 2025? For NFL World, I'm Jacob Pewitt. Out.